Hey guys, it's Miss LaRusso here, and we're going to be talking about different ways to collect data. In this scenario, it talks about park rangers recorded each type of tree in the city parks. In this case, we're talking about types of trees. So if I ask you what type of trees are in a city park, you would answer me with some words like oak trees, pine trees, apple trees, and etc. So when we're talking about words, we're talking about categorical data. If we were answering with a number, that would be numerical data. Let's look at a chart to help us with answering some questions. So in this case, here's our chart talking about 5 different parks and the type of trees that are in each of those parks. It's broken up into oak trees, apple trees, and pine trees, and it tells us how many of each type of tree are in each of those parks. Let's use that same chart to answer some questions about the charts. So the first question here for number 1 is which park, so I know I'm answering with one of these because it's asking about the different parks, has the most, looking for the biggest amount, trees. So it doesn't say which park has the most oak trees or apple trees or pine trees, it just says trees, which means I have to find a total of the number of trees in each park so that I can find out which one has the most. So we've got to combine the number of oak trees, apple trees, and pine trees in each park. I'm going to do that by trying to move some of my numbers around to make them easier to add. So I'm going to take 1 away from my 3 and make it a 2, and I'm going to add it over here to my 19 to make it a 20. That just makes it a little easier to add. So now I can do 20 plus 15 is 35, and 2 more is 37. When I add up Ross Park, 3 plus 1 is 4, and 6 more is 10. So there are a total of 10 trees in Ross Park. In Adams Park, 4 plus 5 is 9, and 10 more is 19. So there are 19 total trees in Adams Park. 9 plus 3 is 12, and 14 more is 26. So 26 total trees in Duck Park. And then in Goose Park, 14 plus 1 is 15. And I'm just going to double that, even though I have 16. 15 plus 15 is 30. And then I just need to add 1 more, which means I have a total of 31. So when I go back to my question, which park has the most trees? So if I look at my numbers, I see that 37 is the biggest number, but it doesn't ask me the number, it asks me which park. So which park has the largest number of trees? That would be Lake Park. All right, let's look at question number 2. How many more, when I see those words, I know I'm comparing two things. How many more pine trees are in Goose Park than in Adams Park? So I want to compare those two, and I'm talking about pine trees, so I want to look in this column about pine trees, and I want to know how many more are in Goose Park, which is 16, than there are in Adams Park, which is 10. So I'm just comparing those two amounts by subtracting. So I want to say 16 are in Goose Park, take away 10 in Adams Park, which gives us a total of 6 more. Okay, looking at question number 3. In Duck Park, so I know I'm looking at this specific park, Duck Park, how many fewer, that means less, so we're going to subtract, how many fewer apple trees, so I'm just looking at apple trees, and are there than oak trees. So in Duck Park, I want to look at just the apple trees in Duck Park, which is here 3, and the oak trees, which is 9. If I want to know how many fewer apple trees there are than oak trees, I need to subtract again. So I'm going to do 9 take away 3 equals 6. So there are 6 fewer. All right, finally question number 4. How many more, again we're comparing two different things, how many more pine trees are in the park with the most than there are in the park with the fewest? All right, so I know I'm looking at pine trees, okay, and I want to know comparing the park with the most. So if I look at all of my numbers here, the park with the most is Lake Park with 19, then the park with the fewest. The fewest is 6. So I want to compare those two. The park with the most 19, whoops, take away the park with at least 6. How many more trees are there? There are 13 more trees in the park with the most. All right, let's look at another chart. And this one, it talks about a television station announced the medal counts from the 2008 Summer Olympics. So we have 4 countries here and the number of medals that they earned in the Summer Olympics. In this case, what type of data would this be if I ask the number of medals that were won by each country in the Summer Olympics? You're correct. That would be numerical data. Let's use this numerical data to answer some questions. So question number 1 says, which country, so we know I'm answering with one of those 4 choices, won the fewest medals? So again, we've got medals. It doesn't say gold, silver, or bronze. It says medals. So we've got to add up and get a total for each country so that we can figure out which one won the fewest. I'm going to take Germany and make it 15 for right now so that I can double it. 15 and 15 is 30, plus 10 is 40, and then I'll just add my extra 1 back in because I made that 15 to start with. So I have a total of 41 medals for Germany. For Japan, I'm going to do 9 plus 6 is 15, and I know that's easier to add to 10, so that would be 25, and then I'll just add my 1 more, which makes 26. When I add up Great Britain, I'm going to take 1 away from my 13, which makes it a 12, and I'm going to give it to my 19 so that I have 20. That makes it easier to add. So I'm going to do 20 plus, let's do 15, which is 35, and then I can add 10 of this to it, which makes 45, and 2 more makes 47. You add it whatever way makes most sense to you. If you need to write it down, that's fine too. For France, I'm going to divide this into 2 parts so that I can easily make both of those numbers easy to add. So I want to divide 7 into 4 and 3. So then I will put my 4 with 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. So I know 20 is easier to add because it's a multiple of 10. And then I'll put the 3 with my 17, which will make it also 20. And then all I have to do is add 20 plus 20 is 40. So I have a total of 40 medals for France. Now I can figure out which country won the fewest medals. Well, I know that the smallest out of these 4 numbers is 26, and that goes with Japan. So Japan won the fewest medals. All right, question number 2. How many gold medals did the 4 countries win all together? When I see that word all together, that means I need to add them all together. I know that I need to look in the column that says gold medals, and I need to add all 4 countries together. So what I want you to do is add up all 4 countries. 16 plus 9 plus 19 plus 7. All right, question number 3. How many more? All right, comparison question again. I know I'm comparing 2 different things. How many more silver medals? So I'm looking here at my silver medals. How many more silver medals did Great Britain win than Germany? So Great Britain had 13 and Germany had 10. I'm going to compare those 2 amounts by subtracting. Even though 10 is here and 13 is here, I know that I have to put my bigger number first. So I'm going to do 13, take away 10 to find the difference of how many more silver medals Great Britain won than Germany. 13 take away 10 is 3. Finally, let's answer question number 4. How many fewer, so again we're comparing, how many fewer gold medals than silver medals did France win? So now I'm comparing one particular country, France, and I'm comparing their gold and silver medals. So you're going to subtract 16, take away 7 to find out how many more gold, or excuse me, how many fewer gold than silver. What did you get?